Welcome to the round table. I'm Jen. It's good to see you guys again. It is Tuesday, a little after 6:30, but here we are. Hope you guys hit the like on the way in, share. That way we can get some more viewers on here and get some fresh voices recognized in here in the chat. We're going to talk about some things that are serious, some things that are funny. So anything that we talk about that's serious, just know that it is for educational purposes only. Feel free to tap in and share. Shout out American Top Gunner. That's right. What's going on? Good to see you. And Vic Med in the house. What's good, boss? All right, let me bring in the co-host. I got my lovely sister right here. Denise Castillo, how are you, sis?
Hi, sis. Good. Good.
Good. So great to see you guys here. I love you in the red, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That's a good color on you. Hey, we got E-Vision in the house. How are you, E? I know it's hot where you're at. It's hot here.
Can't imagine where he's at.
I know. Let's bring in our brother right here. House of Tattoos, Tattoo Rabbit.
Hello, Jen.
How are you?
Hi there, Denise. How are you? Lady in red. What's up?
Lady in red. That's right. Hey, it's hot.
No, it's not too bright, is it?
It's hot right now.
Yeah.
It's not hot, but it's tolerable.
We're such wimps when it comes to the weather. It's like it's too hot or too cold.
I know. My son told me that.
Quit complaining and just deal with it, huh?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. We got it pretty good.
Yeah, it's been good so far. I ain't complaining about today either.
Right. I know it's got to be hot where E-Vision is at. And then also, Vic, you're in Gilroy.
Send mine, right? E-Vision. How you doing, brother?
Yep. Artie, there we go.
Artie,
I see that I'm cold. I'm like, man, I'm cold and my hands will be cold. And I'm just cold. And my husband goes, wait till it gets hot. You're going to be complaining about the heat. And I said,
girl,
I'm not talking about that though right now. I'm talking about it being cold and me freezing right now.
It's called oldenitis. Denise, it's oldenitis.
Oldenitis. There you go. Yep.
We got one little area right here in the house, and we all fight over it because it's the one that goes to the window, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's on wheels. So once it gets summertime, it's like whoever wakes up first in the morning will go grab it. And everyone in the house hears the wheels going. And we all come running out of their bedroom. Who's taking the AC?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to put in their room first,
Yeah, because it only fits one room and you're like all in there, right? Yeah. I'm glad I'm not putting my puppy through that this year. He was burning up last year. It was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty calm so far, which thank you God.
Yes. It was hard on your puppy, right, Denise?
Yeah. Because he was in the summer. It was hot, and like I said, we would go to one room and have the dogs in the room the whole time. It was like, no, this is ridiculous. But yeah, it was hot. When he got sick, it was hot. It was like in September.
Yeah, that's one of the last things I remember you telling me, like the heat must be.
You know what? I always say to my family, I'm changing my birthday. I'm changing it from September 1st to October 1st or November. Because it's hot. It's always hot on my birthday, like 105 or plus,
Yeah.
I says, I'm going to change my birthday.
Yeah, do it. We'll celebrate in 2 months in a row. Why not?
Right.
Yeah. E-Vision
said, pregnant in the summer.
What's that, Denise?
I had two pregnancies in the summer of June.
Oh, wow.
And oh, man, I don't forget those days.
Oh, heck no. I had one.
Miserable.
Yeah, with my son. This is so ghetto, but it is what it is. I was a teenager at that, right? And it was so hot. I was pregnant with him. He was born August 1st. I was like a month overdue. And where I lived at the time, there was like this, you guys know KOA campgrounds? Like where you can go rent a cabin or people bring their mobile trailers to like come for the summer.
Yeah.
Well, there was one close to where I lived and they had a swimming pool. So I would go over there, pregnant and all, and jump their fence to get in the swimming pool. And then finally I got in trouble. They're like, you can't be doing that. You don't live here.
Damn, Jen.
You don't live here? They're like, Not because you're pregnant, but you don't live
Right.
here. So.
Exactly. They knew who my family was. They're like, you don't live here. You can't be in here. I'm like, please have mercy on me.
Right on, Artie.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Let's start out with how was everybody's weekend? I'm going to start out with the lady in red. How was your
Ooh.
weekend? What did you do?
My weekend was good. We had went shopping for my daughter. Her birthday was on Saturday, so we went to dinner on Friday, and then we went to breakfast on Saturday.
Mhm.
So it was cool, being busy with her and stuff. And now that they're older, they just want money. So it's easier. They have a list. Trust me, their list is long, but it's easier where it says money. Just give money and let them.
Cha-ching,
Right?
cha-ching.
Yeah. I'm all for
That way they
that.
get what they want,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
do what they want and spend it whatever way they want. So it's just easier that way. But
It is. It actually is, so they get something that they want,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like I said, they have a list, but their list is like Nintendo this, that, and games, and I'm like, forget it. Yeah. So that's what we did, and then Sunday, no Monday. Yesterday was called Modelo Monday. They have a car show down here in Fullerton every Monday.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I see that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, so my husband was off yesterday, so we ended up. He goes, now we can catch one of those Modelo Mondays, and I said, okay.
All right. All right.
So yeah, we went to that.
Or doesn't LA Con go to those, or is it?
Yeah, I was looking for him, but he wasn't
Yeah.
there.
He wasn't there. No.
Who is that, by the way? I mean, I'm out of LA. So
LA
tell me.
Confidential. He's a YouTuber, but I mean, he does great coverage of content.
Yeah, he goes to
Lowrider,
almost every car show
events,
he goes.
everything. He's a real nice. I never met him in person, but just hear him on the mic. He's a good person, good gente. He
Okay.
seems
Yeah,
real
I
calm and cool.
Yeah, after you
Yeah.
said that, the full name, I was like, okay, I've heard that channel name before for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to LA Confidential.
Yeah,
you
shout
go.
out to Confidential.
Yeah.
So what did you do, House? What was on?
Well, my kids, we all came down and got together on Friday because work schedules are different in my family. We had all crab, all kinds of seafood, and meat, everything, and we just socialized and chilled and with my grandkids. And Saturday, I kept busy doing some work. Then Sunday, went to church. After that, play games with my kids, my grandkids. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, by the way. House.
Yes,
thank you.
happy
Oh, I told
Father's
you.
Day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. Gotta be thankful for.
Yeah, I watched
Father.
a couple movies that I haven't seen in a while. That's about it. Work on my car though. I'm showing my car some love. It's an older car, but I said, you know what? I've been neglecting you. So I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I started working on it and doing what I needed to do, replacing things.
Right on.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing.
Right
So my
on.
hand's swollen right here.
Oh,
Using
yeah.
it.
Yikes! Just keep
That
it.
Olderitis, you said.
It's arthritis and oldenitis. Yep.
You guys are funny. Artie Martin says watching a Clint Eastwood movie.
Man, that
Oh,
was
I
a good flick
I
right
like
there.
that movie. Yeah.
That's a good flicker right there. The Mule. You guys see that? Clint Eastwood. He's a good
Yes, I
flick.
love That's a good one for sure, for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I wanted to get into this talk. Well, I guess before I do that, I could share my weekend. It wasn't very eventful, but I had hoped I would feel up to it, to go put flowers for my dad. But
All right.
he's kind of a ways away, where because he's buried where the like Korean and Vietnam War vets are. So that's like in, what is it? The county. Maybe you can help me out if you're still on here. I think it's Merced County. So it's maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. And that might not sound like a lot, but I am a scaredy cat driving, you guys. Like there is.
Can I ask you a question, Jen? To touch on the subject, okay? And I mean, not to get in your personal life or nothing like that, but I used to be a truck driver, right? And I'd be going everywhere, this and that. I'm having difficulties with dealing with traffic. Just like, hurry up. But you know why I think it is? Is because I'm in pain. And when I'm in pain, I get like, "Oh, come on, hurry up, let's go, you know." And I don't like getting that way. Do you get that way, or when you drive or something?
Well, it's funny that not funny, but like you say that because I do deal with chronic pain because
Yeah,
my medical condition. So
yeah.
yeah, that could be part of it. And then I also just have anxiety, like driving
Okay,
those
okay.
areas. But that makes
Yeah.
sense to me that you would feel that way.
Yeah,
Dealing
because I know I it's like, man, because once I start getting in pain, and I'm like, oh man, you know, and it gets intense, I
Mhm.
get it like, let's go, come on,
Yeah,
cars, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
true. It does like intensify your like urgency to get
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. And when I should, but before, like I said, I used to drive everywhere, just you know. But I'm working on that right now, man. I'm working
Yeah.
on that. Heck, I got to because
Yeah.
it's like my life since that happened, the injury and everything, it
Mhm.
changed my life. So I'm accepting the change, but then
Mhm.
again, I got to push through it because I don't want to go through surgery. You see,
Yeah.
and I choose not to go through surgery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I can definitely sympathize with that because
yeah,
it's that's kind of where I left off at too with my health stuff and my injury. I didn't want to follow through with the surgery, and now I'm at a point in my life where I'm thinking, did I do the right thing? Because
yeah,
my pain
yeah.
is a lot worse. Denise, I know you struggle with some pain issues and back stuff, so you can, I'm sure, jump in on this
Sometimes
too.
we just have to push through it, you know, keep on pushing,
Yeah,
you know.
figure
I
Victor
it
think
out.
that goes with
Garcia,
everything too, like every day,
saludos.
whatever you're doing. It's like,
Yeah.
I try to not be so grouchy because I tend to. And my daughter's like, "Mom, relax," and I'm just like, "Well, yeah, it
Mhm.
goes back to where you don't feel good, and I don't want to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like that with them. So I have to put myself in check sometimes, and you know, try to
yeah,
like change my whole way of thinking because
Mhm.
yeah, pain does cause you to be anxious and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I'm glad you guys shared that with me because that's a status where I'm at. You know, I can't go
Mhm.
long distance or uh, one thing that I can't do is stand in a long line. That's one
Mhm.
thing that it just
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
oh
yeah,
man, you know.
it's me.
Yeah. I think
And
that's
I'm
completely
the kind of person
understandable.
that's like, I don't want a chair. Oh no, I don't want this. You know,
Yeah.
no, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
understandable. What's
yeah.
good, Mr. Goyo? That's right. Keep on keeping
That's
on.
right.
Said
That's right,
Eddie.
Artie.
That's right. Mr. Goyo says, "What's up, homegirls and homeboys? Stopping to show some love
And
and
don't forget to feed
support."
those rabbits. But watch out, they box, Artie.
Hey, those rabbits do.
I sent him a video of the
Homeboys.
rabbits that he shows me, and they're boxing in the middle of the street,
Right?
man.
Uh,
Those
It's
rabbits
comedy.
do. Are those jackrabbits? Is that what they're called?
I tell Artie Marine they're cats. They're big. They're not like regular rabbits. They look like cats, but they're huge.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's different kinds of
Take a
rabbits, and the ones
taxi.
that, yeah, would be like that. I think my dad used to tell me they were jackrabbits. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up. I know some of you guys may have seen it, and I've been seeing. I don't really watch TV too much, but I did want to check in on some current subjects that are going on around the world. And the one that seems to be like really prevalent right now is the situation with that. It's not technically a submarine. It's called a submersible. Excuse my
Right.
keyboard
Right.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's this. It's like 20 feet long. So a submersible named the Titan has been on its way to the famous wreckage of the off the coast of St. John's, Newfoundland, in Canada. So what
Hmm.
it does is this particular machine or equipment, or I don't even know what to call it,
Crap.
basically takes people on a tour to the wreckage of the where the Titanic, was left under. And people, believe it or not, I mean, there are people out there that can do this, and there are people on board right now that paid $250,000 per
Yeah.
person.
Right. A
Yeah.
quarter of
They're
$1 million just to
billionaires,
get
those
on
guys that
there.
are there, that are on there. They're billionaires.
Yeah, let's just take that into consideration for a minute. So there is 250,000,
Hmm.
and there's five people. That is a million.
$1.25 million.
Point,
A million.
yeah,
Yeah.
million and a quarter. Wow. So there's people that go down there just to see the wreckage of the Titanic. And Okay, already said that. Sorry, guys. They are jackrabbits. I thought so.
You know, I couldn't pay anybody $250,000 or to lock me in where I can't get out because I'm claustrophobic.
Listen, yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Unfortunately, I mean, we still, all of us as a collective, we're going to hold out hope. But sadly, this mini submarine or whatever people want to call it, the Titanic tourist submersible,
Yeah, it's a submersible.
has been missing in contact since Sunday. And uh, things are getting very tense or beyond tense because they only have, from what experts say, about 35 to 40 hours left of life
Correct. Yep.
Oxygen,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. This is
How long were they supposed? How long? This is the thing I haven't heard. Sorry, Jen, but I'm asking you that. This question: How long was this trip supposed to be? Do you know? Because
that's a good question. I don't know really. Shout out to Drina's Haven 916. Let's check her out. I don't know technically how long it was supposed to be, but I know they lost touch with. You're supposed to be in contact minutes into your little cruise down there.
They said it was like a 2 hour trip down, and you figure to take them around for a while, maybe another hour, 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing, and then
Right.
another 2 hours going up.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
Did
guessing.
you guys watch the Pierce Morgan clip?
Yes, I saw that one.
I
Oh
didn't
my
see it.
God.
So there was a doctor on there, Dr. Michael Gullin or something like that. He had took this trip before. He's wealthy. He took this trip before, and he was on there. I urge you guys to go watch that Pierce Morgan clip.
Pierce Morgan clip. Yeah.
Pierce Morgan.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, but I did watch that, and the doctor that was on there telling his story, he had got stuck. They got stuck in between his little submerged submarine, what you call it, got stuck between the propellers down there.
Yeah.
And he was wigging out, and he was crying on the talking about it. And I was like,
Wow.
Yes, I'm glad you saw that. Like, trip out, you guys. The clip that Denise mentioned and she brought up, he was on the very same little submarine, what do I keep calling it? I want to call it the right
Submersible.
thing. Submersible.
I don't want to call it submersible because I'll
They
just call
say
it.
it's not a submarine because it's not able to maneuver itself or something.
I'll call it craft.
There you go. Yeah. We all
Watercraft. There you go.
Submersible. That's a tongue twister. No.
Yeah. And you guys, we're going to talk about this for a few minutes, but we're going to get into some funny stuff too. So hang tight. But the crazy thing is that interview that you're talking about, Denise, I was like really shocked and like touched by, like you said, that's a doctor, right? He's a scientist or something. And his emotion that overtook him when they questioned him about what do you think they're feeling, the people that are, stuck in that, what are they going through? And he was teared up. He was torn up. And so he was in this very same, submersible, and it got stuck in between a propeller of something, another craft down there or something like that.
Then the Titanic propeller, that's where it got stuck.
And they showed like there's only one like little portal, peephole, whatever you call it. So all this money, $250,000, go down 13,000 feet in the ocean, 13,000 feet, let that sink in, to view Titanic wreckage, and you get to look out of one hole in this submersible.
It's in the
It's
front.
equivalent.
You see it in the front? Yeah.
Yes.
That depth is equivalent to 12 what is it? The Empire State Building? Like 12 of those stacked up.
Wow.
That's how far down if you can imagine.
Oh my!
That's
I can't.
pretty far.
It's hard to imagine.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is that they went on there and they didn't even sign off on the all the what is it called? Things that could go wrong. In other words, they
liability,
didn't really
kind of
sign
like a
off on
release. What do they call that?
No,
a
I
waiver,
forgot.
not waiver. What do they call that?
Yeah, like a waiver.
Yeah, like a waiver.
Yeah, release of
For that
liability.
machine. It was still like questionable,
Hey, Jesse, you made it. Welcome, Jesse Waka.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah, that's crazy. And one of the people that are on there, it's a father and son, right? And the son is 19 years old. That's pretty young.
Wow.
And I just thought, like, I can imagine, like, my heart. I mean, you guys are parents. If you were, God
This
forbid, in that situation with your child, how do you comfort them?
Yeah.
this reminds me of that movie Abyss. Have you ever seen Abyss?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Dang.
But hopefully they're okay. But you know what? Listening to what all they're talking about is like the current and all that other stuff and how far the vehicle can travel. You know, just in 1 minute. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so it's hard to track down because it's big. It's a huge area.
Did you guys see the remote control that was controlling that thing?
Girl,
Yeah,
come
like
on,
a video game.
let's talk. Well, first of all, let me see this right here. That's exactly what I thought earlier. You would not catch Rafa on a submersible. I know
That's not true, Artie.
What?
They do that transporting cocaine from Mexico to over here.
No, I'm just kidding. But tell us about that, Denise. Tell us about the little. How do they control that thing?
Well, it looked like one of those. It looked like a remote control from the game, the games you guys.
Xbox or
Yeah,
PlayStation,
all
yeah.
those, yep, PlayStation, all that stuff, and it was so like. I mean, if that's the way it was, that's crazy to have that as a controller for that machine. Like,
We lost
and then it
contact
didn't
with
get
Jen.
so.
Come
Oh.
in, Jen. Jen, come back. Come in. We lost contact with her.
She's off the screen.
We were 22 minutes into the live. We lost contact. Come in, Jen.
Oh. There she is.
I'm back.
There you
There
are.
she is.
I'm back.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
yeah, so I didn't want to. I just I tripped out on that how that controller was, and then I also have a question to where like it was so small in there. How did they fit? Like how did they sit? You know, you get a cramp just by sitting.
Girl.
I think I seen a video. I mean, a
Yeah.
picture. I don't know if it was a one, but they were showing. They're like this. The backs against the wall. On
Yeah,
on
with their
going
feet
down-
crossed,
on a-
right?
What's
Right.
that?
With their feet crossed.
I didn't pay attention to their feet, but I just seen the body positions. You know,
Yeah.
like one over here, ladder, and one over here. You know, yeah.
Here's what I took from that picture. I know exactly what picture video clip you're talking about. Let's check it out. So I'm sitting here as if there would be someone sitting across from me, and our knees are touching.
Yeah.
That's how much in close quarters these people are.
And
And like you
you know
said-
what could take up a lot of oxygen too, is if they panic
Yeah.
Good.
and they breathe. You
Yeah,
know,
I was saying that
there
too,
goes
yeah.
some of the oxygen. You have to be calm. You have to be prepared to go down there, man. That's an expedition right there. You know.
Exactly.
And sadly, at this point, if they were to save them or find them, whatnot, they wouldn't be. Sadly, they wouldn't survive the oxygen to come back. You know, to come back up.
Yeah.
A lot of
Drainage.
things that are playing into. There's a lot of things that is not in their favor.
Hmm.
So much, like so much going on with that.
One lady, I was watching the news. One lady says it's going to take a miracle, pretty much. You know.
It will. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, Drina. She says they said it seats 5 people, and I would never want to do that. Me neither. Absolutely not.
You know what gets me the most is that they seal you in there. You know, they lock you in there. You can't. There's no door to get out. There's no window or nothing.
Yeah.
They literally bolt you in there. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
other thing is like,
Raymond.
okay, so they were saying even if, God forbid, they were saying here's some of the situations. That submersible could be somewhere on the bottom of the ocean at 13,000 feet below. It's completely pitch black, right?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, where the sun doesn't hit or whatever.
And even if it had, for some reason, come to the top, those people still can't let themselves out. They're bolted in by 17 bolts, I believe, from the outside.
Right.
So, God forbid, even if they were inside and their oxygen ran low because maybe, understandably, there was panic going on inside. Every little
probably
breath that counts.
Yeah, they'll probably end up falling asleep and passing away. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
And-
another guy on the Pierce Morgan. There was another man talking. There was 4 of them, but I'm sorry, I didn't get the other gentleman's name. But he was talking about
Cultura.
even being a little, like even having a little boat come loose and the water just goes in
Yeah.
there. Like,
Yeah, they says it could either have a leak or it imploded,
yeah,
because the pressure of the water is like intense,
yeah.
man, very intense.
Brandon?
And that's the one thing I was like, okay, where do you find, like, I don't know, where do you guys see yourselves with this? Like, to me, God forbid, I don't even know how. Like, if you think your family's on there, the worst part for me is not knowing what they're going through, or
Right.
they suffering. And then some people said in the comments of a video I read, well, you know, they say that if there was a leak, um, even if somebody had tried to open, in the past, there was a study done, a submersible, and somebody had tried to open a hatch. And at the depth that submersible was, they said that the gentleman on board would have immediately passed because the water pressure would be like having something, my exact words could be
Like a
off.
water jet, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like how they
Yes.
use water to cut metal because it's pressurized. You
Mhm.
know, so yeah, just imagine. They said heard this person say, if a car went in the ocean and there were just 10 feet underwater, it's like 5 pounds per square inch pressure. So you won't be able to open the door or open anything. So
Right.
unless you you break the window, but then here comes all that pressure, boom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I agree, Drina. She says that should have been against the law.
Yeah.
It should
Or
have, but
better, I mean, or better looked at. I mean, look at the one gentleman was talking about the difference between a regular submarine and that that submersible, right?
submersible.
They were
yeah,
talking about that, and he was kind of comparing. You know, he said we got to make sure every bolt, every nook and cranny is like on point because that
mm,
could throw off. You know, that could just throw off everything once you go underwater. Like
yeah.
Yeah,
if
The
something zoos
tiny,
like that, it's
that's
gonna
what I
submerge.
kept, yeah, I kept thinking because somebody mentioned, I looked at several videos, and there was a gentleman on there that was like, think about a hole like the size of a flea. That would
Yeah,
make the entire thing implode.
yeah.
yep,
Because you think
yep.
how well, just think of this scenario. Like, say your window has a little crack, right? And then you see it like crack. Like that's how I see it though. That's how I see it. Like that's how
Mm,
much the water, you know, is able to go in at a little pinpoint of a hole.
But when you really think about it, something really happened because to cut off connection
Yeah.
where they couldn't speak to each other, that has to be either a leak or something that damaged the electricals.
Yeah. They were saying it could have
Yeah,
even been a fire in
yeah,
yeah,
there.
I saw that. Like,
So
that's so
there's so many
crazy.
scenarios, there's so many things that could have went wrong, and it's sad because we won't know,
Yeah.
we won't know until they find
who
it
knows
or
how long? To be truthful to you, because they got to find it, locate it, and
Mhm.
retrieve it. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think all we
So
can
prayers.
do,
That's all we can do is
exactly.
pray.
All we can do at this point is pray.
Yeah,
Positive prayers will be found safe, and there's enough
yeah,
time left with their oxygen and anything else that they would need.
yeah.
We don't. I know that there was some reports saying earlier, like they didn't want to say, these reporters, that pretty much it's all bad, but they wanted to give hope to the families still. So they were saying, well, they've got at least 40 to 35 hours left. But
yeah,
we believe in a God of miracles. Anything can happen, and we're just
Yeah.
praying the very best,
Yep.
outcome.
for
Yep.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Respects, my friends. I have to go for now. I have to tap in later. Yes, Trina, tap
Bye,
in later
Drina.
with us. Hop on later if you feel up to it. Okay. Yes, prayer for those.
So let's start. So what do you guys think about? So this is what I think too. Like when you have money, um, I mean, you spend it like they spent that much money on this trip.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. But they
Mhm.
have it, so they weren't worried about like we are about money. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have the same, probably the same views on
That's
we
like
spend our money on.
that's probably like just chump change to them.
Yes.
You know.
So,
Yeah.
man, I'm just like, did you have something better to do with your money than? But I guess I would probably do that too if I had money like that.
I wouldn't,
But then I would think of
Denise.
all that stuff.
I
How
wouldn't.
I would think of all that, like getting stuck or being in so close. When I'm in an elevator and it tweaks or something, I'm just like, oh my god, So I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't, but hey, you
Yeah.
Do
know
you get
what?
nervous of elevators,
There's
Denise?
things on your bucket list, huh?
Do you get nervous of elevators?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do. But that's when I start to think like, man, say I'm going from the bottom floor to like the sixth floor. Some of them are pretty fast, and some are just slow and old. And I think Jen, you had a story being stuck in an elevator, huh?
I was, yeah.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah. Well, I worked at Macy's and oh my gosh. Sal, I know you, yeah. Sal, I know you know what I'm talking about. So at Macy's in Salinas, it's funny because I mentioned it one time. It's called Northridge Mall. And somebody's like, Northridge? That's down south. I'm like, no, our mall is called Northridge Mall.
mm,
For whatever reason, it is. And the elevator in the stock area. So like, where the big trucks come, they back up, they drop off all the stock items. So we would go in that elevator to go to the third floor, take our, excess stock to an area we would store it. And there was a time, and I always would say that elevator is like a ticking time bomb. You could feel it like all rickety.
yeah,
I mean, the lights would flicker. It was just all bad. When something's just a matter of
Wow.
time.
yeah.
And I did get stuck in it, and it was scary, and it was all dark. And really, no matter how much noise I made, nobody heard me because
That's
that's
even worse.
oh. And think
They
about
didn't
it.
have like a bell in there to pull or anything.
I was pushing everything, but nothing was going off. Like nothing was
Oh
going off.
no,
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
freight elevator cultura. That's what it was.
afraid,
So
right?
think about all the big trucks backing up, the noise, just the noise alone, the beeping, beep, 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 when
Right.
it backs. Speaking of, I got something to tell you about my neighbors. I'm ready to choke them out right now. They bought a school bus. They've been working on it. That same noise, that beep, 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 all
Yeah.
night long.
Oh
They're working.
no.
Yeah, not cool. But finally,
Nobody says, "Hey, have you seen Jen?" I don't see Jen. Where?
I know, right? I feel offended. No, it wasn't
That's
until somebody needed to get to the third floor to put their
Yeah.
own clock away that they were like, hey, what's up? It's not coming down. Something's wrong. So,
right.
yeah, I was like,
How long did that take? Do you know?
girl, I felt like it was hours, but I do think it was a little over an hour. What's up, JoJo
Oh
LB?
no. Dude, 10 minutes is
Hugo
long.
Jojo.
10 minutes is long for me.
Saludos, carnal.
It was long. It was to the point where I started crying. Okay, and like to myself, I would never, I cleaned it up before the door opened, but yeah, I was nervous. What? Cultura Cafe used to work at Macy's? Yeah, I worked at Macy's and Salinas in the cosmetics area from the time I was like 17 until I was 21 or 22. Until I got my back injury, and that was my favorite job ever. I would have stayed there forever if I didn't have my injury.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Mm.
Loved it.
So they finally found you after that whole
Yeah,
time.
they finally found me. And you know what's crazy is the store manager had someone come to me right after and made me sign something to be like, say
Okay.
I was not hurt or traumatized.
Mm-mm.
But even that's
I would
kind
be
of
like, anytime. I'm still going through it.
Right?
yeah. I didn't even think like that. I was just glad to be out. But
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's messed up to hit somebody up that soon,
Quick.
right after.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
to be like, "Oh, sign this,
Rather than letting you wind down and collect yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you need something, are you okay? I just, what I did is I was alone. Like sometimes we would go two girls at a time, but I was alone, so I just took that time to be like, I just started praying, like, Lord, help me get through this. People might think that's dumb, because
Oh, heck no.
life wasn't at risk. But to me, I'm very claustrophobic, and to be in the dark in a closed area, and then not knowing, okay, what level am I on? I can't even tell because the lights were off.
That's
It
scary.
was a trip.
So yeah, bring it back to the submersive.
Mhm.
Submersive.
That's nice.
It's sad because those people, like, we don't know what their last breaths were like.
Yeah.
Um, did they have time to console each other? Did they have time to say something
Yeah,
like,
you know what? If it
Mhm.
imploded, it'd be quick. Like
yeah,
real fast.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it happened or not. Hopefully they find them drifting somewhere or what. But
yeah, because they were even looking above water too, huh? How they were
yeah, they
like
are.
scouring. How do you say that?
Yeah,
The waters, though. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were looking. They're looking all over.
That's
Um,
wild. I know. You typed it out.
I would never. The only kind of submarine I went on was the one at Disneyland.
oh, that one even got me.
Yeah. That got me
And
too.
when I was little, I thought it's real. I thought we're really going underwater until like I was probably 8. My mom's like, "This is not. It don't go nowhere. It stays right there."
It
And I
just
was like,
takes
"No,
you
I don't want to
around,
get on."
like.
Yeah, I was like, "No, dude, I don't want to get on it."
Hello, Nay Love.
The homegirl named Love. Much love, amiga. Good to see
Yeah.
you. The city 18 always. Oh, that was much love.
Yeah. So yeah,
Wild, right? Like,
I guess those people too. I guess they probably weren't claustrophobic. I
Salute.
mean, who knows? If they were able to be on there, they probably weren't.
right.
You know what I mean? So they probably weren't claustrophobic if they were able to even sign up to go on there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because that's a long time to be in there, and
Yeah.
really how far? 13,000 feet
Yeah.
beneath the top of the ocean. Wow, that's a long ways
I
down.
want to ask. Hey, I want to ask Cholo Trucker if that's on his bucket list to
No,
do
he
that.
wants to
Go
jump
visit
off a ship with a knife in his mouth. You remember?
And wrestle a
Not
shark.
funny, but
And
it's
yeah,
something
that's
that
crazy.
people do. They want to go see the wreckage of the what is it, Titanic and stuff. So they
Yeah.
pay to go do that. And I didn't know that, you guys. I did not know that there was such thing.
I'm changing my bucket list. I don't think I want to go see the aurora lights.
Fuck.
Right. Hey, that's what I do want to do. That would be nice to see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I gotta start small. I'm gonna start with
Jen, you got to get on a plane, girl.
you took the words out of my mouth. Getting on an
Oh,
airplane.
Jen,
Exactly.
when was the
who's
last time you've
talking?
been in a plane, Jen?
I've never been
How
in a
long?
plane.
How
Hey,
long ago?
I was in a plane once
Uh-huh.
and I got married.
Okay.
Lord was trying to warn me.
Wow.
And I ignored it. I won't even say what was in my luggage. Mom, if you're watching this, it was nothing too bad. Um, but I was tripping, you know.
I mean,
It was a long time ago. I was like 18 years old. That was the
Wow.
last time I flew.
wow.
And I was crying. This was just from California to Las Vegas.
That's like an hour.
Girl, it felt like there was an 8-year-old boy comforting me. He's like,
Wow.
it's okay, it's okay. Look out the window. I'm like, oh my God.
No.
It was like, I do this every weekend. And poor baby. He would go back and forth to visit his parents. He's
Hmm.
like, it's okay. I do this every weekend. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
Nayla. So did you feel like Nayla saying the turbulence? That's what scares
Yeah,
them
yeah.
most.
And I don't know if it's, if people were just trying to make me feel better. If you've flown from Cali to Las Vegas, let me know. People have told me there's a lot of turbulence because the mountains.
Jen, I flew from Long Beach Airport in my uncle's little Cessna plane, and we flew to Vegas. And man, was there turbulence going over these mountains, big time.
And when we talk about turbulence, my sister-in-law
It's like,
went to Hawaii, right? And she's telling me it drops. Like if you're dropping from
Yeah.
an elevator to like the last floor,
Yeah.
from like 6 to 1, right? It drops like fast and goes up and whatever. Not. I'm like, oh no, I would faint, probably faint.
Yeah.
yeah, you
And
could
that's
feel it, man. You could feel that
Right?
turbulence.
Yeah.
That was part of it. That was part of the like when it would whoo, like the. And I was thinking for whatever reason that if I sat in the back end, it would be better. I guess that's not true because the tail gets,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
you'd figure.
not cool. Yeah, but I was tripping. That little boy was, God bless his heart. I hope he's doing well
Oh,
somewhere. He was
he
trying to
probably
come.
remembers that.
Yeah, if I could
Huh.
go to see, if I could go travel to anywhere in the world, all expenses paid, where would it be and why?
Wow.
My grandma used to always tell me, like, I'm sure she wanted to keep me right here. She would always say, everything you need to see is right here. You don't need to go overseas. Like, just stay right
Yeah.
here. I don't know. I really love, I don't know. I really love nature. Like, I would love to see, I know it might sound lame to some people, but even what's in Oregon, like the greenery, or
I've been there.
Yeah.
and Hawaii is over the ocean. What
Yeah.
I could see there, like
Yeah.
the tropical weather there. I would love to go to Mexico safely,
Yeah.
and come, but
Yeah.
I don't have any like completely like exotic, like I need to go to Dubai or
Yeah.
I feel like we have so many beautiful things,
Yeah.
beautiful
I
areas.
like more agriculture. Like I like to see like museums and churches and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I would love to go to Paris.
Okay.
That Eiffel Tower looks like beautiful.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things over there I would like to see. My family's from Madrid, so like I would love to see how they live. You know?
Oh, I've heard
Yeah.
it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love, I don't know, I love the like outdoor type, um, exotic, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're more like forest,
Yeah,
forest, like
I love it.
Australia, maybe.
You're like that earth kind of like
It's
you like
hot.
that earthy stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's because I
That's
grew
how
up.
I am. I love the beach. I love the mountains. I love the lakes because you find that you
Okay.
get a good view. You hear the ocean. It's real mellowing and it's
Yeah,
peaceful. And then you got the palm trees. Stuff like that. Very
yeah.
relaxing. That's my kind of
You know,
vibe.
I've
Just
been to
chill.
Oregon, and I mean, I was describing that to my husband. Like Oregon is like Christmas trees just everywhere. Christmas trees, all like that's the mountains are covered with them. If you could
Right.
picture your backyard, but
Yeah.
Christmas trees,
Have you seen it? Yeah. Like
you know?
that would be
Yeah.
legit. Like that would be so cool. We have this area and it's not always got the best stories around. It's got some crazy,
Hmm.
it's in a few books, crazy stories. There's some reindeers up here in an area close by me, Mount Madonna.
Hmm.
A lot of scandalous things have taken place up there because it's off the grid, kind of.
Yeah.
But my parents used to take us up there around Christmas time because they do have some reindeers up there. So, for kids, they would show us like, oh, look, there's reindeers.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, Peru, that even sounds like, yes, I'm
Oh, and
into
the waterfalls over there, Jen. Oh my gosh.
waterfalls. Girl, as long as I don't have to get in it because I don't know how to swim, but I want to look at it and take
Oh
pictures.
gosh. I was telling somebody before, I was telling this to somebody too. They have like in Mount Noma Falls, they have like a bridge connected to each mountain, like a bridge going across, and then
Yeah,
the waterfalls in back of that bridge.
I can do
So
that.
all that water like hits and it just comes up and oh, it's so
I'll
beautiful.
stand there and let
Where's
them
that at? Niagara
I have
Waters, you
pictures.
were
I gotta
saying?
find my pictures.
Niagara Falls?
That too.
Oh.
No.
for
Yeah.
real. Oh, I would like to see that, but I don't want to walk across nothing. No.
Jen,
And
I sense phobia and fears of
yeah.
going.
I'm
Yeah,
full of the phobia and the fear.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, have not been to Yosemite, but I would like to.
Oh, I loved Yosemite
I
as a
would like to.
kid.
My son called me the other day. I think I told you guys he got a bear. Like he went
Mm,
hunting. It's all legit. Like I didn't want people to think he went out there just, shooting at
yeah.
wildlife. But he called me. I could choke him for this. He's like, Mom. He was whispering, Mom, son. He's grown. He got a family. He's like, I just shot a bear.
Oh.
Where are you at? He goes, I go, where's the bear? I think that's what I
Yeah,
asked.
where is it? Make sure it's dead.
Girl, he goes, I don't know. He goes, I don't know.
Sorry for the jet.
Oh, that's cool. We left the jet. Look at that's God telling me, get on the plane, Jen.
Mm,
Get on the plane.
yeah.
So he,
Name. Quarter
well,
flip.
I can't see the bear, this thick brush I'm in right now, but I'm gonna be hiking down to track it. He had to track like the blood trail for
Oh,
over an hour.
Wow.
And my
gee,
heart's pounding the whole time. I'm like,
I bet.
imagining the worst case scenario. And it's like how it is now, the time right now, and where he's at, it's mountain time, so it's an hour ahead even.
Mm.
Praise God, like he was all right, but it was scary to think that I know that was one of his goals, like to accomplish that.
Yeah. I'm laughing at Coturas.
Right? Sponsored by
Live
Southwest
sponsored
Airlines.
by Southwest
That's
Airlines.
funny you say that because that's who I
That's a
flew
good
with.
one,
Yeah,
Cultura.
What?
Southwest Airlines. That's who I
Even
flew
though?
with when I went to
No.
Las Vegas. It was Southwest. I
That's
think when you go to Idaho, you have to fly Alaskan Airlines.
okay.
So when I go to see my son, I'm gonna try to fly.
Mm.
It'll be Alaskan
Hey.
Airlines.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? Let's switch into our next topic. And if we could all share a funny story, could be by yourself, could be about a family member, could be while you were completely straight laced, maybe something was involved, but something funny, a good memory. I mean, it might not have been good at the time, but something funny that has stuck with you over the years. A funny
Mm.
family story. I would
Jojo.
love to hear it. Jojo, that's right.
All right, Denise, hit it.
Respect
Denise,
on the
go.
Me
Let's
first?
go.
Oh man.
got you on the
Mine's
spot.
I don't know if it's gonna make you guys laugh, but this was you had to be there. Okay. Like you had to be there. So I was probably about 7 years old. I was about 7 years old, and my brother, I have a brother that's sorry guys. I have a brother that's he's has mental issues, right?
Mhm,
Um, he's very smart and intelligent when it comes to music
mhm,
and like like movie directors and stuff. So he's really smart about that. But other things, not so. He has a problem. So my other brother, my oldest brother, tells him, we're all getting ready for first day of school, and we're just getting ready and stuff. And my brother says, "Oh, there's a honk in the driveway." And my oldest brother looks out the door and he's like, "Hey," he tells my brother, "Your bus is here," because it was a short bus, right? He tells him, "Your bus is here." And we all run to the door and look out the door, and everybody's all. I remember just all my brothers and sisters were all being nosy and look out, and
mhm.
we're telling him, and my brother's telling him, laughing at him, like joking at him, right?
Yeah.
And the bus driver gets off and talks to my mom and tells him that they're here for Art, my oldest brother. They were here for him, not my other brother. They were here for him. So
Okay.
he got so mad.
Wow.
Dude, I just remember him turning around, slamming the door, and walking to his room. My mom was like, "You gotta go to school."
That's
But
for you know.
yeah.
Oh man,
He
talk
You
was
about
gotta ride
hunger.
that small yellow bus.
Yep, the small bus. He was like capping, but he was capping hard on him. And it ended up being for him, and we were laughing so hard.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
I don't know. I was thinking about what to share and stuff, and I'm thinking, man, it's gonna make it doesn't make if it doesn't make you guys laugh, that's just something I'll never
It's a
forget. You
family
know?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
Yeah, it was
family thing.
we always clown him for that too. We clown my oldest brother every time like we talk and we're sitting around and stuff. Hey, remember that time?
Right. It's a good
Yeah.
memory. It's a
Yeah,
funny
I'm gonna keep
memory.
out of it.
Yeah.
He gets all like bent out of shape, but it's like laugh about it now. You're freaking already
Yeah.
older, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's a family thing for sure. You gotta laugh. We gotta
yeah,
laugh. Something,
there was
Right.
something
back
this
then
thing.
it was the funniest. We can laugh at it now.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I
How about
remember
you?
one time too.
Oh, go
Hold on,
ahead.
wait. Let me tell you this because it was funny. Because we so me and my husband. I think it was after my second daughter was born. So we decided to smoke a joint, right? And we're like, we're at home, we're chilling, we're not going nowhere. The girls are cool, they're asleep, or they were back here with the grandma. I don't remember, but we ended up, yeah, smoking out. And you guys, we got so paranoid. I remember just like being like, oh my God, oh no, like this is not good.
No.
It was crazy.
See, that's an awful feeling. I don't like
Oh
that feeling.
God. Well, yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean when I say that. It's just like, dude,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that was just
It's
extreme.
Yeah, that's a trippy feeling. That's why I don't like to not feel in control of my own like
Right.
mind.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it was. We felt like we weren't in control
You were
when we
smoking some
were.
good stuff there,
You know?
Denise.
That
Right?
I think it's just been a long time since we've done that, and
Yeah.
we're not.
Mm,
He didn't do any. He don't do any type of drug, so he was
yeah,
like, yeah, we're tripping.
that's funny. Look at
You-
Jojo right here. He goes, the homie then showed me his foot after he smashed it at work. My nana seen a picture and asked if it was a picture of my Tia's foot.
Oh,
Poor Bobby. Oh, not Tia's papa.
That's a good
dude.
one, George.
Right?
Well,
Oh my
you want me to
God.
share one?
Yes,
Yeah.
please do.
Mm, my cheeks are hurting already just
Oh
thinking about
no.
it.
Okay.
Okay. I was 14 years old, right?
Mhm.
We went to my sister's house. She lived in Duarte, California. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Did you say divorce?
At the Duarte, California,
Oh,
right
okay.
there by the mountains.
Yeah,
Anyways,
divorce.
I was 14 years old, and my sister, my older sister, one of them was a hippie, right?
Okay.
So she used to always have weed, drink, and everything, right? So it was my sister, which is 2 years older than me, and she was 16 at the time. No, 17. Correction. So we're sitting in her living room, right? And my older sister's on the left, my other sister's on the right, and I'm sitting in the middle, right? Because I says, you know what? My sister blazed up a joint, right? So I says, pass. I'll pass it to my sister. My sister passed it to me. I passed it to my other sister. Then my sister passed it back to me. So I was in the middle. So I was getting most of the hits off of it, bogarting it, right?
Yeah.
So I was high. I mean, we blazed a few of them, right? So I was high, and we're all, laughing and just having a good time. So my sister tells me, "Hey, George, I'm having a problem with my record player, right? And it won't play this record, but it plays every other record fine." So I says, "Really?" So I says, "Let me look at it." Now I was stoned, but I says, "I'll go look at it." I went in her room, was looking at it. I said, "Okay, give me, what record were you playing? This one." So I put it on. I'm not reading the labels or nothing like that, right? So I put it on, and it was a 45. So I had it on set on 45, right?
Yeah.
And it was going fast, like just real fast, like somebody was talking fast, right? And I'm like, so I slowed it down, tried to find the 33. Is it 33? The lower speed, because it's 45, then 33, and I think 78, if I'm correct. So I was trying to lower it to see if I could get it to where I play right. So I was stuck on there for the longest time, and I kept on hearing them laughing. I
Yeah.
said, wait a minute. So I got another album, and I put it on, an album, not a 45, and I put it on, tried to figure it out. And I had it, and it says, man, this one's playing normal. I don't know what's it about this record that it's not playing normal. It'll be like real fast, right? So then I hear a bunch of giggling and everything in the thing, because my older sister told my other sister, that song, he's never going to be able to do it because that song is by Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh my.
So I was stuck on stupid in there trying to figure it
Oh,
out
yeah.
and do this and that, not thinking even of the label or nothing, right?
Dude, imagine.
But every time I
Imagine
put
being
it on,
stoned.
it was like it was sounded fast, right? So I'm like, damn, I'm like this. So when I finally said, man, hey, I can't get it. And then we're laughing at me, and they told me. So I was like, all right, that's messed up, man. But that was pretty funny.
Uh,
Yeah, that was a
Dude,
good
that's
one,
funny just being on their side, tripping on
right?
you. Like, don't tell me
Right.
that.
Because they were laughing because I was all like stuck on stupid because I was high as a kite, But
Yeah.
I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't, man. I was like,
yeah.
damn, I don't understand why.
That was
You know.
good.
That's messed up.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Dude,
but
that's
That's funny because okay, so that takes me back. I do not partake. No shade to anyone that does. Like I realize it's a medical thing, but
Now.
I'm just a paranoid person. Okay, so I do
Yeah.
not partake in the devil's lettuce.
Mm.
But when I was like,
Dan, what's the devil's lettuce? I don't. Can
gonna
you?
make me explain.
Yeah,
Like a
I don't
sugar?
know what the devil's
Is that like
lettuce
a
is.
sugar?
It's the marijuana.
Oh, okay, okay. Now I understand.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So I had a cousin, ooh, this cousin of mine, and he's got one of those faces, like a punch you face. You just want to punch a face.
Oh, not him.
Yeah, that guy. You know what I mean? That guy. So I could not take, I was the only girl cousin. So I was surrounded by boys. It was always like, that's beautiful. It was always like, if I didn't do something, I was the weenie of the group. So I always felt like I had to, hey, I gotta
Prove
do
yourself.
what you do.
Yeah.
So of course my cousin loved to smoke and do his thing. And it was out back one night. We were alone. Um, they were older than me, and they were like they busted out the devil's lettuce and was like, here, hit this. Like I didn't want to do it. I'm like, no, I don't want to. I was just trying to play it off. Like there's no, nah, I've done it before. I was talking about that. I had never done it before. I was just trying to get them off of me. He knew I was lying. He knew I'd never done it. And finally, this is what he gets for trying me. Finally, like he convinced me, and I did it. Like I just wanted everyone off me. I didn't want to be the weenie that night.
Yeah.
So I did it, and I'm not kidding you guys. It's like the time I had it in my hand to where I passed it, and I was able to look down the driveway. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but back in the day, all the cops' lights used to be shaped the same. Well, I had a special talent where I could tell that was a cop car coming.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, that's a cop car. It's coming up. You know what I mean? It was coming up our road. It was going to turn up here. I knew it. I'm like, that's a cop car.
Mm.
They're like, oh, you're so dumb. Like, you're paranoid, blah, 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 yada, 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 until it pulls in the driveway and the lights hit the trees behind us. And he starts talking on the loudspeaker for us to come out. Well, the neighbor had thought somebody broke in the house because our parents were out of town.
Mm.
And all they did is smell that and heard voices and movement. So they called the cops. But we got out of it because, my mom was married to a cop back in the day. So we got out of it. But ever since that day, I'm like, see, you tried me. You got me to do it, but I still saved ourselves. We had enough time to get out of that little situation.
Yeah.
I always talking about you have laser eyes. He would tell me you always know, like this happened since way back.
There was something about their headlights, were like square or something.
You could figure those out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I could peep that from far away. Like now they drive all different, Dodge Chargers. They have all kinds of different vehicles here, but yeah, used to be able to just
I want to share another one about my older brother. Rest in peace, Henry.
Mm-hmm.
He used to drink alcohol all the time. Thunderbird. Okay. Mm-hmm. So one night he calls me up, and he was a drug user.
Mm-hmm.
He had an 8-ball with him, right? And he was been up for days. So he calls me. He's living on a 5-acre lot in a mobile home, and so he calls me. He says, "Hey George, get over here, man. Somebody's over here in the backyard, and they're trying to hand me hamburgers through the window." I'm like, "What the?" I said, "Hamburgers through the window."
Right?
He goes, "Yeah." He says, "Man, you need to come over here right now." I said, "Man, I know he's got an 8-ball on him, and he's doing quite a few drugs, so I'm going to go over there and check it out." I drive over there, and back then was the days when I used to use also, okay?
Yeah.
So I get to the place, and I get to the door, and I said, what's going on, Henry? He goes, "Man, come here." I go inside, and there's a big window in the back, and he goes, "Look." You see them over there? They're way over there. And I says, Henry, it's dark, pitch dark. I can't see nothing. But I'm gonna take a flashlight. I'm gonna walk to the back and I'm gonna go like this so that you can see. I'm gonna click it so you can see it's me and no, but nothing's there, right? He goes, all right. So nighttime, I'm walking all the way to the back and I see him in the window just looking out like this, you know. And then I turn around, I flick the light. So he's seen it. He goes like this, you know, like I see it. So I'm walking back in. So I'm walking to the front of the place and I get to the steps to walk up. He opens the door. So as soon as he opens the door, I start fighting with myself, saying, "Oh shit, they got me!" And I started like, you know, pulling myself and I slammed the door. He's like, "Oh shit!" He goes, gets on the phone, calls 911.
Oh, shit.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
he calls
no.
911. I says, Henry, I'm just joking. He goes, what? He goes, I call 911, and then he goes, click, and then so they called back because if you hang up, they call back. So they called back, and I just says, hey, my brother was just having a little incident. You know, everything's okay, nothing's wrong. You know, blah blah blah. But I pulled the gun. I shouldn't have did that prank, but I was like fighting with myself, like they're pulling me, and you know he got all scared and stuff like that, man. I was like, that was comedy.
I think that's the worst thing you can do is make somebody trip even harder than what they are.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, that's something I had always got a hard time from my family for, but I loved, hey, Cheeks, what's good, girl?
Aw.
Oh, good to see you, Cheeks.
Yeah, Jojo LB, he used to have mountains full of bottles of Thunderbird. That was his like daily
Thunderbird,
go-to,
yeah.
man. Thunderbird.
Wow.
Yeah.
My family would always tease me for like loving it, but that is something that I get a kick out of is scaring people. I love it. Like to this day. This this was awful. And my mom had every right to tap me up, by the way, before I go into this. But my mom used to have this water bed. It was like awesome. Like, you know, lifted up off the floor.
I remember those.
I used to think, oh, this thing's so fancy, you know?
Yeah.
And underneath was the cabinet you put your clothes inside of. You could pull the,
Yeah.
you know. So I crawled in there one day underneath and I'm like, oh, let me scare my mom, you know, she'll be fine. Like, she'll love it. Think about my mom, and she's like me. When we get scared, we start swinging.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So I crawled underneath the waterbed. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be funny. She's gonna love it. I hear her bedroom door open, and I reach out of the cabinet and I grab her ankle. When I tell you she
Oh, God. You got beat.
up good, I was like, it's me.
Oh,
Mom.
Was it dark?
Oh yeah, it was dark. Yeah, she was
Shoot.
selling real estate at the time. Like she had just got a job doing that, and it was painted black, and she got me good. And I knew, man, you shouldn't have done that. I'm the same way now. Like when I get scared, I just go into panic mode and I start swinging. Like I just, that's what I think, you know, if something bad's happening, I go in defense mode.
Yeah.
That was, if
Water
I
does
could,
like scary.
yeah, if I could have had a camera there back then, I'm sure it would have been one of those like viral videos. You know what I mean?
Probably, yeah.
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 Hey, Pastor Tony. That's right.
Yeah, I got a daughter that loves doing
Hello,
that, man.
Pastor.
Tony. Yeah, she hates. I mean, she loves to prank, and I'm just
Does
like,
she?
Mom,
Okay.
like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get you one day, but I haven't yet. I just don't feel. I don't.
You can think of
I
something.
don't
girl.
like.
I used to do that to I used to do that to my kids, but then
Yeah.
they started giving me a taste of my own medicine and literally making me jump unexpectedly, you know.
Yes.
And
You guys-
I was like, damn it.
That's my daughter bought this. My daughter bought this little. It was a cricket noise maker. Okay, it did a cricket. The way they sound.
okay.
And she put it in, and this is like last year we had a bunch of crickets last year. For some reason, they were all over.
Yeah.
And so she put that in my room to Kyle's mom. There's a cricket in here, and I'm looking everywhere, you guys. like I hear it. You know how you hear it one spot though, and it could be like in another,
It moves.
right? So I'm looking everywhere, and I'm like, no, dude, it has to be here, and I'm stressing out. I'm like, I gotta kill it because I hate sleeping with spiders or with crickets. Like,
Yes,
mm-mm.
girl.
Not going to bed. I'm not going in that room until it's caught and killed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing that, looking everywhere, and she finally, after I think 15 minutes, had to be, she pulls it out and goes, look, and I'm like, oh, you ass! Like, why would you do that? I mean, I was on a good one, looking for it everywhere. She was just sitting there, like, you gotta find it, mom. It has to
That-
be.
You want to hear another funny story?
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing this with me. I don't know if I shared it with you before.
Mm.
My sister and I, we used to live in Whittier, right? And she goes, hey, you want to fry? And I says, sure. So we got a hit of acid, right? So she goes, hey, you take half and I'll take half. I go, okay. So I says, hey, 20 minutes, 30 minutes past, nothing, 40 minutes. Man, I don't feel nothing. Let's take the other half, right? So we took the other half. So she started tripping out. So it ended up where, what was it? My mom, she started telling my mom, and my mom took her to the hospital. And there's nothing they could do there, but she had to just ride it out.
Yeah.
So I'm at the house by myself, right? Now I'm saying, damn. Now my mom's going to know I'm at home frying. I says, I got to sober up, right? So I went and jumped in the shower, and then I started seeing all these spots on me and that they're not there, but I'm seeing them, I'm like, and they wouldn't come off, right? So I said, damn it, I'm going to get out. See, but I still, although I did drugs, I still remember everything, And so I did them, and I did it, and then I got out, and I was like, okay, I just got to relax a little bit. So I went out in the front, and I looked, and I was watching the plane fly, and it's all like this, going like this and everything. And I said, ma'am, I got to really sober up, man. To make a long story short, because it was a long night, right?
Yeah.
I ended up in my boxers just going down, because we lived on a hill down a long driveway, and then you go down a street, and I knew what I was doing. I started running in the street just in my boxers.
Damn.
And I knew what I was doing, but I'm like not thinking, hey man, they'll get you for decent exposure or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I says, because I was frying pretty good. So I ran back home, and I just stood there and we had this like, what do you call that? A brick wall that curves around.
Yeah.
And I sat on that brick wall, and I was just watching cartoons all night, man, until the next morning and stuff like that, just frying. But I was like, damn, I says, I could have gotten in trouble for something, back then, but I'm lucky I made it home,
Right.
But
Yeah, like you did.
crazy, man. That's
Lucky you weren't indecent. That would have been
right. I was like, but
Yeah.
but back then in the days, it's weird when you're younger. I don't know if it's you're younger, if it's just me. Like sometimes I'd be at home because I'm creasing down my pants. You get out of the shower, you crease down your pants. You're just casual in my boxers. Throwing the crease down, and people come over. Like, what do they call those Jehovah's Witnesses? Come knocking at the door, and I said, yeah, can I help you? And I'm in my boxers, so they're all like, we could come back later. I said, okay, but I was a kid, and I was just like, hey, that's just me, I'm in my house ironing, and you knock at the door, and I go and look at the door, and they're right there,
Yeah.
But
That's a
it
good
was that was comedy, man. Just
get out of that.
Funny. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so funny. It's like we gotta laugh at stuff like that now.
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
memory. This is something like, and shout out to my foster sister, Sherry. She's passed away since then, but she and I
Rest in
always
peace.
always had a good, like we both loved pranking each other. We both loved like doing, she was quite a bit older than me, so
Yeah.
she would be like the older sister to us at the time. And for a long time, she came from a lot of trauma in her family, okay?
Hmm.
And my mom loved her, took her in, and it was like a big sister, she was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years older,
Oh
maybe
wow.
10 years really. So, she dealt with a lot of traumatic things, and maybe one day I will talk about some of those things because I have letters from her where we would discuss some of the things she went through and what happened to her, and
Hmm.
a certain individual from our town that was notorious for inflicting these things on young people.
Dang.
But
And this
she
is the
and
one that lived in Germany or something like that?
no, that's my half sister.
Half
Oh,
So
sister.
this is a Sherry. My mom would call her Sherry girl. One of my foster sisters. My mom was a
oh, okay,
foster,
okay.
so we had lots of foster kids in
Oh,
and out
okay.
of the house.
Okay.
But Sherry was one of like the long, like even when she went to live on her own, she kept in touch. Like it was always mom, little sis, little bro, like. So this is like not a happy time, but this goes to
Hmm.
show you the connections you can make and what it means, okay? So the time that this happened was around the time when my stepfather was shot by my brother.
Hmm.
So early mid 2000s. Early, I guess. And Sherry came down right away. She's like, "Can I stay with you, sis?" I had my son, my oldest daughter. I had a newborn baby, pretty much not newborn, a few months old. And I'm like, "Yeah, please come. I need family here. My mom had to be up at the hospital. My real dad was here. I was trying to find an attorney for my brother. Also managed to see my stepfather, praying he would make it. It was very like torn feeling.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for being here. And God bless her heart. Sherry dealt with a lot of issues from different substances, and I always felt
Hmm.
like everything she's been through, it's amazing she only dealt with those things. Like her life story
Yeah.
is something else.
Yeah.
But let's take it back to one evening, 2 nights after. It was a traumatic time, but I had this little tiny house. It was a farmhouse. Like, Salinas, if you guys aren't from this area, a lot of our homes out here are like on the fields, like just back right up to the fields. And this home that I lived in at the time, it even had what's called a mud room. I would love to have a house like that right
Okay.
now.
Wow. Oh yeah.
So,
That's nice.
yeah, the back door, when you come through the back door, it was like meant for, people that worked on the land. Like,
Yeah.
you work the fields, you come through the back door, there's a sink immediately right there, a
Hmm.
Okay.
shower. It was like tile, all tile. You take your boots off, you could shower, wash up right there before you even come into the rest of the house.
Right.
So there was that
Mud
bathroom.
room.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so she stayed in there's 3 bedrooms. And then the
Hmm.
bedroom I was in at the time was a master bedroom. It wasn't so master. It was a small house, but still, I loved it. And with my first husband at the time, and so to come into our room to use the master bathroom would have made no sense, right? Because there was 2 other bathrooms. Small house, but with the mud room plus the other bathroom. But I had made dinner that night just to try to make sense of everything. It was like 2 nights after my stepfather was shot. Made dinner. We were all getting tucked in. She and I had been spending time together, talking, trying to just think, where do we go from here? Wrapping things up.
Yeah.
And I could tell she was either sipping or took something or both.
Hmm.
But she was really like trying to be there for me. You know how some people like when they do stuff, they're overly loving and like, oh,
Yeah.
But I needed that. I needed her at the time. So in the middle of the night, I'm laying in my bed and I'm like, I start hearing this song. And I thought I was dreaming. And
Hmm.
I don't know if anyone knows the song. It was like what's her name? Shania Twain. Any man of mine better walk the line. Look
Not
it
a
up.
big fan of country western.
Yeah, but you were right. Like Sherry Cole was.
Hmm.
Any man of mine better walk the line. Something. I remember hearing that over and over. And then I started to wake up and I see a light coming from under the door in my master bedroom
Tashanka.
bathroom. Tashanka. And I wouldn't have made, like I said, nobody would have walked through my bedroom, across the bed, across two dressers to get to the bathroom. So it tripped me out. Like, what the heck? Did I leave the bathroom light on? And why is this country music playing from there?
Hmm.
God bless her heart. R.I.P. Sherry Girl. She was so hammered. When I tell you I got to the bathroom door and opened it, she was sitting on the toilet and she had a plate on her lap and she was like rocking out to the song, right? But she had the pork chops, the mashed potatoes, green beans, everything I made for dinner on her plate, like walking out to that song in the bathroom, putting on the toilet. I was like, oh, I don't know, this is not happening right now.
That's
And I
funny.
go, Sherry, what are you doing? Just, what are you talking about? I thought you made dinner. I'm like, you have dinner on your lap. You're in the bathroom right now. Well, I am. I had to
Oh
get her to the
man.
bathroom, wash her up, get her to the bed. But
Yeah.
the next day, God bless her heart, she was so humiliated. But it for me in that moment, that kind of trauma, like it cracked me up. So every time I hear that
Okay.
song,
Mm-hmm.
I
It,
can't
bring,
help but laugh,
it brings back that memory, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, was she sleepwalking or what? Was
Yeah,
it? She was
she
just
was
wasted.
she was well that too, but she did have a history of sleepwalking. She
Wow,
did have a long
Wow.
history of sleepwalking,
that's a trip.
and yeah, it
You
was
know how
wild.
I was
Yeah.
talking to you about when I was younger. My older family members, they would
Mhm.
be giving me alcohol and weed and all that. I mean, just I was young. You figure your older brothers and sisters, no, don't do that. No,
No,
here,
hell no.
here, right?
Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
had to get a kick out
So
of somebody.
I don't know if I kind of like seeing all that happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was with my nephews. Okay, and so my nephews, like one time they came down to the house and we were partying. I got my nephew drunk. He was like maybe 17 years old, and I got him super plastered to where he would just fold it over, right? So I says, we need to sober him up, but we're gonna go get him something to eat, right? So I says, let's get in the van. We hopped in the van and we went and drove, and we were all drinking, Went in there, got in the line, and he was in the back just like acting like real, not weird, but just drunk, Hey, uncle, I owe you for this because you got me toasted, and this and that. And he's real loud and everything, right? And
Yeah.
guess what happens? A
Oh no.
police officer pulls up right behind us in the drive-through, right?
Oh,
And then he's all looking out the back window. Hey, uncle, there's a police officer right behind us. I says, I know. So close the curtain and just sit down and shut up.
Right?
I says, because he's underage and I was pounding too. We were already
Yeah.
drinking too.
Yeah.
So he goes, but after that day, he goes, I owe you. I'm going to get you drunk. Because it was like, I always used to, that happened to me. And I don't know if I started doing that to the other ones, the younger ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is your initiation. You want to drink? We're gonna pound. You're gonna pound because I remember my sisters my sister that used to get me high before. We had a party at her house for New Year's, right? So we're chilling and kicking back there, and they were serving me screwdrivers all night long, and I was drinking them. I was like, oh yeah, I was feeling good, moving around, dancing, just feeling good.
yeah.
And so my other sister, which was 3 years older than me, she was faded too because they were getting her drunk, right? So they got us
Yeah.
all plastered and everything. So I remember we're playing cards, right? We sat down at the table playing some cards. So after we're playing cards, they gave me the drink, another drink, right? So I said, okay. I went like this, and I missed my mouth, and so it spilled on me. I said, oh shoot, So I
Yeah.
got up and they're all laughing because I was faded, but I still
Tossed you keep from the
remember.
top of the cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I walked from the kitchen and went around into the living room. And I
Hmm.
sat down in the living room. I'm like, damn, right? So after that happened, my sister-in-law was there sitting next to me. Okay. So my older brother came in, and I don't know if he thought I was trying to throw movida on his lady or whatever. And you figure I'm like young, real young, man. I'm
Okay.
young. And I says, so he looked and he was a jealous fool, you know?
Oh no.
So he went like this and just boom, he
Oh.
decked me right in the face, you know? And I'm like, bam, I went like this. And she goes, his lady stopped and like, what the hell you doing, you know?
Mhm.
But nothing happened, but I got decked, right? So as the party was going on,
Yeah.
uh, my other sister, she was really toasted. I mean, because they got us messed up, man.
Mhm.
She ended up standing in the front, right in the middle of the living room, and they had a ceiling fan going in circles like this, right? So she went up like this and was looking at the ceiling fan, and that just spun her off like this.
Oh
She was going like this,
no.
and she went like this. Boom! She
Oh,
fell backwards, man. But see,
Oh,
hey, my older siblings, man, they used to get us toasted, and
crazy.
that's no joke, man.
yeah.
Especially
You
because
know,
you're
so
the youngest one, right? They probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I blame it on them. I don't blame it on them because I did kind of dabble, but
Yeah.
yeah, I used to enjoy. Like I said, I used to enjoy drinking, man. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
I was going to tell you about this time where my cousin, speaking of sleeping and that, she slept with her eyes open, but we didn't know, and
Yeah.
we all had a sleepover and she's asleep, but her eyes are open and we're talking and we're going on and on. And my older sister goes, ah, bitch, like hit her. And she like, jumped and we're like, what happened? Like everybody got concerned. What happened? She was like,
Yeah.
you scared me. And I was like, you're right here though. We're talking and stuff. And she was like, I think it was her sister that said it. No, she sleeps with her eyes open. And I was like, what? Totally. Like
That's
I
crazy.
didn't know about that back then. I was probably like 10, 10 or 11, but I didn't know people slept with their eyes open. So that was a trip to see because she looked like she was like listening to the whole conversation.
I don't see how people can do that. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a trip. It's
it
true,
is.
but like, I mean, I don't think I could sleep with my eyes open, man.
Yeah, I don't know
You
what it. I
know,
mean, it's not something you. It's something that happens to you.
yeah.
Right?
It's not like you're doing it on purpose, right? Like
Yeah.
one of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
daughters, the oldest one, she has done that since she was little. Like, and
Your
it was,
daughter?
yes, my
What?
oldest.
Oh,
And when you would walk in the room, it was so scary, like to
yeah.
see this little one, little
It was
toddler.
scary.
Like
Yeah.
her eyes weren't all the way open, but enough that you would
Yeah.
notice. Like, what
No,
the heck?
hers were open, you guys. Like I could see if they were a little bit shut, but no, hers are like wide open.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
crazy to see that.
yeah, it's a trip
That's crazy.
because they look
Oh,
no different. I mean, it looks no different than you see.
yeah, most
Most.
definitely. Most definitely. There's one last story that I thought of I would share too.
Oh,
My
you gotta tell
cousin.
us about your neighbors because I keep thinking that.
Oh yeah, my cousin, the one I'll never say his name because whatever, he's a hater. But
That
the
cousin.
one that he would always. I mean, we were close growing up, so
Hmm.
God bless him. But yeah, he's great. Um, but we would get into all kinds of mischief together. And my family at the time, we raised like cattle, like it was like a ranch. Like not ours, but my father and my grandfather worked for the people, So there was like cattle, there was pigs, goats, chickens, all that. And
Hmm.
he tow trucker in the house, you guys. So we
Saludos.
lived on the land while my dad and my grandfather worked for them. So it all worked out. So we're always trying to get into some kind of trouble. We're like playing rodeo with the animals. We'd run out there in the pasture, and there was bulls. And
Hmm.
like if you've ever had an actual bull like chase you, we'd run into like jump up the tree,
No.
climb up the tree. It was crazy.
Wow.
Dang.
And there was we're like, one day we're bored, let's climb this tree and we'll see whoever can get the highest wins the competition. We're bored out in the country.
Kids.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, so we climbed this tree, right? And we both got on this branch. And like I told you, I was the only girl. So all boy cousins. So I was constantly trying to keep up and be like, I can do what you can do. I can do this. We're on the same branch, right? Only I was smart enough to sit back, like with my back closest to the actual tree.
Mm.
And I'm looking out at him, my cousin, and he's looking towards me. And he's got like two pine cones in front of him that are attached to the pine tree. And he's talking all kinds of masa, like blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to win this. I got you. I'm like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I could hear crackling. And I'm like thinking, oh, that, like it's not me. It's gonna happen to him. I'm like, oh yeah, how you got me? How you got me? How you gonna win this? So I start hyping him up. Now, right underneath him is a whole area of blackberry bushes. And if any of you know anything about blackberry bushes, they're full of thorns.
Oh,
So I'm like, oh yeah, tell me what's gonna happen. You know, get it in piped up.
yeah.
Like he couldn't help it. He was always angry. And I could hear the tree cracking some more. And then all of a sudden, I see his eyes get big.
Oh,
And right where those pine cones, it snapped and he went down into the blackberry.
oh man.
Oh, he hit those blackberry bushes. He was screaming like a little girl. And
Oh,
I felt bad, but I felt kind of good too.
at the same time, yeah. Do you fall like far from the?
It's like, you know, one of those cartoons where someone like, like that.
Yeah, you freeze.
Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah,
And
that
so
must have been
after
funny.
seeing him fall like that and how he screamed when he went into those blackberry bushes, I was not moving. I was like, get my dad, get my dad.
Isn't
So
isn't it isn't it kind of nice how we can reflect back to all the things we've done or how we had fun, as a kid and and it's good memories, man, good
yeah,
memories. Like
it
even all
was.
the stuff that I was telling you about was was still memories for me, good memories, because
Yeah,
I enjoyed myself. I mean, it's part of life,
yeah.
when you,
Thank
you
you,
know.
Sherlock. It is, and it's like we can sit here, chop it up, talk about things that happened in the past. Some of them might not have been such a great situation, but look at here we are now. You know, we're able
Talk
to
about
share that
things.
story and to say, hey, we
Yeah.
survived that situation.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure
look at us.
many of the viewers can relate to stuff like
Yeah,
just like
I'm
us,
sure you guys can.
they lived just like us, man. you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
Yep.
But
yeah.
needless to say, my dad showed up with the ladder and got me out of the tree. And so my cousin never
Calm
tried.
down now.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom would have
Oh,
made us. Hey,
shoot.
let me tell you this real quick. So we lived in this apartment. This older, I was always the young one. Those older people and stuff. And this one girl I forgot her name. I think it was like Maddie or something. She was like a watch. She was always, she didn't live in the apartments, but she would always come down. And I always see her mom just dropping her off. I never asked her where she lived or where she was from, but
Yeah.
uh, she pulls out her cigarettes, right? And she's lighting a cigarette and she's smoking. She's like, so we're downstairs and I lived upstairs. So there's like a, a little fence like type thing where my mom was standing over and I didn't see her. So Maddie's like, you want to smoke? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I told her, I know I'd never smoked before. She's like, I got this. I'll show you. And I'm like, cool. So she gives me the thing and I'm lighting it. And I look up and my mom's like this, standing over the rail. She's like, okay, bring it up here. But I put it out. I was like, oh shit, wake my
Okay.
mom. So I'm like, go down. And she goes, no, bring it up here. Come here. So I'm like, oh, damn. I was all
Yeah.
mad because I was in trouble and I didn't know what the hell she was going to do. And, several things going through my mind. Like, nah, she's not making me eat this. She's not making me smoke
Something.
it, like
Yes.
something. So sure
Yeah.
enough, I get up there and she's like, light it. And I'm like, I was probably 12. I was going. I was in sixth grade, so whatever sixth grade was.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what? And she goes, light it, and you're gonna smoke the whole thing. And I'm like, oh damn. Well, sure enough, she's freaking made me light it and smoke the whole cigarette. I was like choking. I didn't even know how
I
to
know.
smoke. I was
I
choking.
know.
My first thing from smoking, we're at Almani, what do they call that? There was the mall, I guess they used to call it, by Michi's, and we're parked in the back. And my sister, which is about 3 years older than me, she goes, "Hey, let's smoke a cigarette." And I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette before. She goes, "Here, I'll light it." So she puts it in my mouth, and I go like this to light it, and I'm all like blowing out. Like, I said, "It's not working, man. It's not working." No, she goes, "You got to inhale."
Oh,
So then I started, okay. So I did, excuse me, I did it. And then I says, oh, I started coughing a little bit, but I says, oh, no, that's how you smoke a cigarette, That was the first time I've ever done that, man. My older family were like not good influencers, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I know, but like I feel like a lot of us have like we can look back and be like, hey, we were exposed to some things. But
Yeah.
look at we can use those experiences now and to our younger nieces and nephews or
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
nieces and nephews even and be like, don't do that, like it's better if you're like this or avoid that situation. Like I feel
You know
blessed.
what? And it's just true, Jen. And when I try to do that now, it's like we remember how you were.
Right?
We remember,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's funny because I says I'm not like that no more, though. And I like my soberness. I thank God for my soberness, man. Because to get rid of all that and be drug free, it's a good thing, man. And
yes,
it's a blessing, man. You know. But
yeah, it's a
before,
blessing.
I was like, bring them on, bring them on. That's how I was.
Yeah,
But
yeah, for
Somehow
sure.
I always got caught, man. I always got caught.
you,
Right? You were the baby, that's why. Because
Yeah.
I feel like the baby always gets caught.
one thing is when I did drugs, like I mentioned to you before, I knew what was happening all around, right? But check this out. One of the older homeboys, he was maybe about 23, right? And I was like 16 or 17, I think 16 years old. And he used to pick me up in his Monte Carlo and we'll go to Whittier Boulevard, right? So one day he picked me up and he says, "Hey, I got these hyenas over here in Flores. We'll pick them up and we'll come back." So bam, we picked them up. We came back to my pad, and this is when I lived in Southside Whittier, right? And so we're there, and we're drinking, and we're getting high, and doing what we do. Well, he was a type of he couldn't handle his stuff, man. I could handle my stuff, so I was with this one girl, and he was with this one girl. And like I mentioned to you before, we had a long driveway, like a downhill, right? So he was on that side talking to the girl, and all of a sudden I started seeing him wrestling with her a little bit, and then they were rolling down the hill, right? Rolling down the driveway. And I'm like, what's this guy doing? And so I says, man, and then me and this girl are talking and stuff like that. So we're talking, and then the girl gets up, he gets up, and here she comes, and she says, "We gotta go," right? And mind you, I've been pounding, right? I've been pounding, right? And he's already gone, so he can't drive. Okay, so he had a Monte Carlo at that time. I think it was a '76 Monte Carlo. So what happens is he goes, "Man, I can't drive him back." And the girl goes, "Hey, man, he's acting a little shady." I says, "Hey, man, what's up with you?" And and I was a youngster, and I was telling him, "What's cracking, man? Why are you doing this, man?" I said, "You're killing it, man." So, anyways, I says, "All right, he can't drive. I'll drive his car." So we got his car. I never driven. Well, I've driven before, but not like drunk and taking him. I drove all the way from Southside Whittier down to the 605 freeway, and then went, Imperial Highway, and then to the 605, and then went to Flores and dropped them off. And I could remember that far, man. And I says, man, and I says, but I was faded, and I
Yeah.
wasn't very experienced in driving, but I did it and I made it, man. But and he was all like, like, man, if you can't handle it, don't drink it,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you figured he'd be able to drink it, man.
That's
But
crazy. Yeah. That's a
yeah,
lot of
Yeah,
happened to a lot of
crazy
us,
time.
right? Yeah. It was very common
yeah,
for
it was
to be drunk and
Cholo.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cholo, I think it was way more back then. Now, it's a little bit like, okay, wait a minute. We take notice of,
Yeah,
right, House? We choked him out right now.
choked on water.
I do that all the time. I always choke on water. But yeah, I
Excuse me.
remember it being like, yeah.
It went down the wrong pipe.
I've got
It takes a while to clear it, huh?
Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah,
it went down the wrong pipe.
I know.
My brothers, you guys, I was like 5 years old. Last story that I have. I was like 5 years old and, being a little
Had to clean it.
nosy, looking at Gucci and all that. My cousin from East Los came down. He used to come down and play. Well, stay the night. He would stay the night, but my mom thought, okay, stay the night. Yeah, you can come over, stay the night. Well, he's all gangstered out. He's from LA, comes down. Everybody tripped on him because they had a different style back then, the early 80s. Different style. I was probably, I don't know how old I was, but I know the story since I was like 5, right? So
Took a bong.
they get all wasted. They smoke weed. They're all wasted. And I'm watching them all walk in the house, and they're like looking for my mom, kind of. So my brother lays down on the couch real quick. My other brother lays down, blah blah blah. My cousin. So we're laying there. All of a sudden, we hear like rain, and my sister even got up, and she was like, "Is it raining?" And we look. My mom had a mirror, kind of like the one I have in the back. She had a mirror up against the wall, and my cousin was so wasted, he started peeing on the mirror. And all we hear was like rainwater. What the hell? My sister goes, "Salon." He's like, always turns around, all wasted.
Oh,
You're peeing on the mirror.
That's crazy.
that's all bad,
It was too funny.
right?
Everybody
good
got up
memories,
and
man.
napping. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
now my mom's gonna come out.
Hey, I want to share this one, man. This is like I was like 15 at this time, right? And we went to Lake over here. You know where Lake is, Denise?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Off the
we went to
60.
Lake and we were playing baseball with this car club back in the days. This was, man, back in the 70s, okay? Back in the late 70s, all right? So maybe 70s, yeah, around there, 80s. Anyways, my brother-in-law was from a car club. And so he brought him and his buddies and everything. So everybody was all there enjoying drinking and doing what they're doing, right? So I was drinking too. I said, because man, I used to pound, right? So I was drinking and we're playing baseball. And I was I would play first base, but it was my turn to bat, right? So I was up there to bat. And so they pitched the ball to me and I went and bam, I hit it and it went pretty far, right? So I was running to first, and who was playing first base was my brother-in-law. And my brother-in-law, he's not tall. At that time, at my age, I was taller than him, but he was a little stocky, right? So I didn't really like him very much, to be truthful to you, right? So we're playing baseball, but I said, you know what? I'm going to knock him down, man. And I'm going to knock him off the base. So I was running real fast and I didn't stop and I just went boom and I knocked him down. He got mad because, this little 15-year-old was knocking me down and this and that. So he tells his brother Henry, his partner, not his brother, his partner Henry. Yeah, he used to have a nice Grand Prix, man, a green one. He goes, hey, because I was playing first base, right? He goes, when you hit the ball and you get him, you knock him down. He was telling me that, right? So, and I'm pounding beers and I'm drinking. I have my beer right there as I'm playing baseball.
Yeah.
So it's right there by first base. And then so I was kneeling down, squatting down, and they pitched it, and the guy hit the ball, and it went out this way. So then I looked this way, and I was just about to take a drink of my beer, right? So after the guy gets the ball, he's throwing it to first, right? So all of a sudden, I just went like this with the glove, and bam, the ball went right in my glove, man. And I got the dude out, but
Yeah.
he didn't knock me down because he was a big dude. He was over 6 feet tall, man. But it was, I mean, some good memories. But I let that my brother-in-law know that, hey, yeah, man, you better treat my sister right, man, because he wasn't always a good guy, man. We had to put him in check many times, my family. So that time I just said, you know what, I'm gonna knock him down. I just felt
I'm
like
gonna knock him down.
Yeah, and you know what? It feels good. Like, I mean, not that you want like drama or whatever, but it does feel good as a female to have like your little brother, little cousin,
Yeah.
whatever, like check someone when they're not doing right by you. So
Yeah.
shout
Yeah.
out to your house. That's what's up.
Mhm.
yeah,
So
because
this was some
it's
good
like
memories and stories, you guys. I like this. Like,
yeah.
good to reflect.
I'm not. I like sharing my stories and stuff. People get to know you a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
people get to know Jen, Denise. And we're all human beings, and we have a past. That whether it be good times. I mean, I consider a lot of my life at being younger. It was some good times, man, but dangerous times.
Yes, you
But
like trip out, don't you
but
trip
at
out?
that time it was fun.
Right.
But now
Exactly.
we're wiser and it's
Yeah.
not as fun.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. We're wiser and we're going to continue to share with you guys. We hope you
Yeah.
guys will share with us too in the comments, or you can even drop us. I was thinking like people could drop us a suggestion for a
Yeah.
topic or a conversation, for following weeks. We look forward to conversations, and I feel
Hey,
like there's a lot.
Jen, next week, I don't know if we can invite this one guy that I talked to,
Mhm.
Estevato.
Okay, yeah.
He's with the puppet. He's the old man with the puppet.
Yes, right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
is that okay if we can invite him?
Yeah.
I'll talk to
Tell
him
him.
and
Yeah,
maybe
talk to
we
him.
can
If
invite
you
him
tell
onto
him.
the
Yeah, I've
show.
seen him around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Ask
Because,
him to come down. That would be nice to have him
hey, you
on.
know what?
Actually.
He came over here already. He bought one of those jackets off me. You know those
No,
jackets, huh, Denise?
Yeah, the fur one?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
he bought
wow.
one off me.
How
He
much did you
liked it
sell
now.
that for?
Huh?
How much was that?
Well, they're different prices because they're different kinds. I got wool ones and I got the other regular ones.
Yeah.
They're made out of different material,
Yeah.
but
The wool ones. Man.
they're clean and everything. And
yeah.
they're original. They're OG.
Hmm.
So he got a guy. He called me yesterday. Says, "Hey man, this guy wants one of those jackets." So he's gonna come and pick up a nice brown. I didn't want to let go of that one because if it would fit me good, I'd keep
You
it
want it?
because it's a wool one.
No.
And but it fits me a little tight. So I said, well, I'm gonna let it go and sell it to him.
It's like
Okay.
300-400 bucks,
You
huh?
have some.
What's that?
How much are they like right now?
Well, right now, it depends. I sell them for $1.50, and that's still not a bad price,
No.
because
I think you
they're
like 300 bucks.
they're
That's
clean. Yeah, they go for four or more. I seen them go for more, but you got to make sure they're good. These like the ones that I got are like
Well, you took care of them.
brand new, man. Like
Yeah.
brand new, man. They're clean.
So
Yeah.
you have those for sale, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I sell those and they're see if you live back in the 70s, 60s, 70s and 80s, people were wearing those jackets,
Yeah.
And I mean you go out and you're sporting, you're looking good with either with khakis or pleats and vests, whatever, you're looking sharp, and your thongo on, bam.
Yeah.
But
Those guys, the ones that wore those type of jackets, those dudes know how to dress. I'll tell you right now.
yeah, you have to.
You couldn't
That's how
just
you do
wear.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so check it out.
Nice.
Before we wrap everything up. Okay, first of all, shout out to Fred, Two Piece Entertainment, right here from Big Bad
A
Chole.
little Two-Face
Right.
Entertainment.
And right here, you guys. Be on the lookout Thursday on Mas movies and shows. We're gonna be chopping it up.
Mañana, right? Yeah, tomorrow. No, Tuesday.
Day after
Tomorrow's
tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow's
So
Wednesday.
You guys
Yeah.
be on the lookout on the community page. I'll share it as well. We're going to be chopping it up about a certain movie, and uh, it's going to have some, I'm sure, some good stories behind it, interesting banter back and forth, and check it out. That will be on
I'll
Trucker's
check it out.
channel.
I'll
Yes,
check
you
it
guys
out.
tune in, share it with someone,
And
and see us there.
I want to get in touch with you and off the thing right here and let you know so we can schedule a date so we can have you come on and we could do that for you. And maybe
Okay.
you could drop in, Denise, and show some love or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I'll play some music for you, man.
I'm down on that. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
make that happen. Let's make that happen on your channel,
Yeah.
right? Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Shoot
Yeah.
me your channel. I don't think I
All
have
right.
it.
I'll shoot you my channel, Denise.
Unless I
Yeah.
had it for way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, before I was gonna go under what was it, Rabbit Ear TV, but everybody knows me as House, so I just stuck with the same one,
You might as well,
and
right?
so a lot of people so far I got what
Right on,
I think
Fred.
77 subscribers,
Nice.
Yeah, you guys are right.
7,700.
Hey, and if anyone is ever like, I always tag you guys in the description box, so you guys can find House of Tattoos, Denise. Like, I always have them tagged, righteously as co-host members. The roundtable, you guys can find their channels in the description box. So with that said, House, do you have anything coming up that you know of that's going down?
Let's see, this weekend I'm probably gonna do some work this weekend. That's
Okay.
my weekend's mostly work, and stuff like that. Work this weekend. I'm trying to go to a car show if there's any local. I missed a couple over here, and I thought they were later on, and I missed two of them because I wanted to go down there and make my way through there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
but
do, get us some footage to watch. I would love to see.
yeah. Well, I used to enjoy going to those, but I was limited as how much I could walk and this and that. But you know what? This is the honest to God's truth. When Big D and Monica came over, we were here praying for me. We were praying deeply. All three of us were here praying for the
Oh, I
longest
believe
time.
it. Those are prayer
Yeah.
warriors there.
And this is no lie that I'm walking more and doing some things more, and I'm like, God, restore me back.
Amen.
Now, I know it's not going to be 100%, but I got more strength now,
Yeah.
and I'm like, thank you, God, so that's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Even the mind change,
Right.
No,
Yeah.
it's something that I push myself always, Denise,
Yeah.
but my body,
Yeah.
but now it's just happening. I was
It's
out there
catching up.
chopping it up because you remember how I told you to stand in line. It bothers me, and it's like but I was standing for a couple hours, like cool, like good and stuff like that. So it's working little by little. Hey, thank you for the prayers, man. Big D and them,
Yeah. Big D and Monica. I prayed with Monica before. She's a powerful, prayer warrior for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm
It was deep. Yeah.
believing with you. Yes, right on.
Hey,
So
we should
let's
bring them Cheetos out, the flaming hot Cheetos.
tune in to Mas on Thursday.
Yes.
You guys can hear more about that movie.
Yeah.
If you don't even know, check it out. Denise, what do you have going on next week? Beautiful lady.
This
in
week
red.
coming up, this weekend, my daughter's turning 25.
Oh, another daughter, another
Yeah,
birthday.
the youngest one, yeah.
Well, shout out to both of your
Wow.
daughters. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to
Thank
them.
you.
Happy birthday.
Yes,
Thank
happy
you.
birthday to them.
So they're excited. I'm excited. It lands on a Tuesday, the 27th. So I think Saturday she wanted to go to breakfast or something. I have it written down, but yeah.
Nice.
Doing
That's
that.
good. That's good, man.
What a blessing.
Yeah, celebrate those birthdays.
Yeah, you know what? And I do, man. Every year they had a party. My sisters even got on me one time. Why do you always have parties? And I'm like, because I never had. I
Yes.
was a baby. I was the last one. I never had birthdays.
Yes.
So yeah, every chance I get, like I'm gonna make them a party.
Yeah, I seen Cholo Trucker. Did you see that video of him? Somebody it was on his channel, somebody else's channel. He's at the Santa Fe Springs,
yeah.
dancing with this lady.
Dancing,
That's
that's
feeding right
beautiful.
there.
Yes.
There
Yeah,
you
he
go.
has a good time.
Yeah,
That's really
I think
that's
it was
what's
Jetta. I think Jetta was there.
Yeah, that's dope.
That is definitely what it's all about, you guys. So let's see. We will see you this Thursday on Chogo's channel, Moss. I will possibly be going live tomorrow. If you guys have any suggestions on
Yeah.
topics or things you'd like to see for next week's the roundtable, let us know. And yeah, because we have left the 27th, but one more week. And then the following Tuesday after that will be the 4th of July. So
Right.
I don't know. We'll have to decide if we're going to be live that night or if we're going to reschedule. So,
Yeah.
anyways, we're on for next
Hey
week.
Jen, maybe
Mhm.
one day we could get on here. Maybe you could sing for us because I know you said you know how to sing.
I will bust a song out for the fans for sure.
Karaoke.
I think we should. I have a karaoke thing right now. I'm not going to do it right now, but let me practice and we'll do it.
Right on.
Okay, you start
Thanks
first,
for
Jen.
having us. Yeah.
Right. We'll see you guys next week.
Saludos, Rich.
Yes, saludos
Jojo.
to everyone. Rich,
Bye,
Jojo,
Jojo.
Big Entertainment, Cholo Trucker. Let's see. We got Jojo LB, Sea Dog and
Jojo.
Cooper Show,
Vanessa was
Joker,
in here. Yep.
right?
Nay Love, Brenda Love.
That's
Thank you,
right. Not
Jojo.
forget Love. That's right. And Victor Garcia. We had Big
Yep,
Ned
Victor
for a minute.
Garcia.
The Skeptic Tank, Vanessa, Cheeks, Pastor Tony, Heart Life Phoenix, G Lou Show. Hey,
Artie.
Salvador Palan. We
Yeah,
love
G.
and
Yep.
appreciate you guys. And see, we love seeing you guys in here in the chat. So tune in
Yeah.
next week. We will be here. And we wish you guys a beautiful week. And
Yes, bless a blessed week, man.
yes, buenas noches. We love and appreciate you guys.
Bye, guys.
See you soon. Thank
Jojo
you guys
LB,
as
Bye,
well.
house.
My co-host.
Long Beach.
Guys,
See you guys.
good night.
Good night, guys.